All righty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Connect Entertainment, Art, and Travel Tech, the event that brings together leading journalists from around the globe with creative startups focused on improving the entertainment, arts, and leisure industries. My name is Jim Glade, and I'm a partner at Publicize, a PR firm for growth, and also the managing editor at Espacio, a media incubator based in Medellin, Colombia. We're really pleased to be joined today by a host of leading journalists who report on the fields of science, technology, business, and sustainability. And we're equally privileged to host 7 of the most exciting entertainment and travel tech startups as they pitch their ventures in front of these distinguished media judges. Before we begin, I wanted to mention that if any startups have any questions about PR, or media relations, please feel free to contact us at info@publicize.co, or you can contact me directly at jim@publicize.co. We have a lot of startups to get through today, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and meet our media judges. I'm going to introduce each of you judges, and when I do, if you wouldn't mind coming on screen and saying hello. We'll start off with Jonathan Landrum Jr., who is the entertainment writer and producer for the Associated Press, the largest press agency in the United States. During his nearly 20-year career, Jonathan has earned exclusives and produced in-depth stories about some of the most influential figures in entertainment, sports, and politics, including Oprah Winfrey, Leonardo DiCaprio, Michelle Obama, Steph Curry, and Tyler Perry. His work has appeared in more than 1,500 different media outlets, including the New York Times, Washington Post, Fox News, MTV, ABC, USA Today, and more. His reporting on the entertainment industry has actually even dragged him into the trenches, working once as an extra on the set of a Starz sitcom produced by LeBron James. Jonathan, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hello, pleasure. Nice to be here. I'm just so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, it's our pleasure, Jonathan. Thank you, sir. Next up, we have Amanda Silberling, who's a senior writer at TechCrunch. She's a writer, artist, community organizer, and a multimedia journalist. She currently writes about technology and impact technology at TechCrunch. Including coverage about social media, labor, public policy, and the creator economy. Her work has appeared in many different publications: MTV News, Polygon, Mike, The Observer, NPR Music, Business Insider, Fedora's Travel, Vice, you name it, she's been in it. And also, she's received the Kelly Writers House Creative Ventures Grant, and she went on tour with a punk band as well. Amanda, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
No, that's a heck of a list and a life that you've had so far. So thank you so much, Amanda.
From punk to tech, you know.
Man, very cool. And calling in from Philly too, which is the most punk city for my bet. So thank you, Amanda. Next up, we have calling in actually from Berlin, we have Kate Lawrence, who's a senior writer at The Next Web, a leading global technology news publication and event organizer based in Amsterdam, which is owned by the Financial Times. Kate covers everything from smart cities to cybersecurity to mobility and IoT, and she's previously written for publications including Read Write Web and D-Zone, among many others. She's calling all the way from Berlin again. Thanks so much, Kate, for being with us. All right, Kate, I think we might have a little trouble with your audio as well, but it's always a pleasure to see you, and we're really happy to have you again.
Let's try that.
There we go. Hey, Kate.
Apologies. I seem to have a few technical problems today. Lovely to meet everybody, and it's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much for joining. I would say it's pretty safe to say that the next reporter has more fun at his job than most people. Todd Martens is the interactive entertainment writer for the Los Angeles Times, where he covers everything from video games to virtual reality to Hollywood and theme parks. Before joining the newspaper of record for California and the West, Todd also worked as a staff reporter for Billboard magazine. He's contributed essays to numerous books, including Nirvana and Illustrated History, South by Southwest Scrapbook, People and Things That Went Before, and The Big Lebowski, an illustrated annotated history of the greatest cult film of all time. And for the comedy fans listening, he's also featured on a monologue on the Upright Citizens Brigade. I think, Todd, maybe you and Amanda might have a lot to talk about in terms of your music taste. It's great to have you here, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Awesome. And welcome to your cat as well.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Paolo Bicchieri, who's a reporter for Eater, a leading food and dining publication covering cities across the US, which is owned by Vox Media. He's based in San Francisco, and Pablo reports on the best dining locales in and around the Bay Area. Paolo's reporting has been featured in publications such as the San Francisco Examiner, San Francisco Weekly, and KQED, the Northern California affiliate station for NPR. Paolo, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jim. And yeah, thanks to everyone for being here. It's an honor to be among so many cool professionals for all kinds of walks of life. So thank you.
It's our pleasure as well. Next up, we have Navanita Sachdev, who is the editor of the Tech Panda, one of India's leading technology news sites. She's also a regular contributor for the Indian Express, Entrepreneur India, and the Business Standard, one of India's leading business publications. I'm not sure if she's joined yet, but if she has, Navanita, it's great to have you as well.
I'm here, Jim. I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, good. It's good
for
to see you.
having me.
No, thank you. It's great to see you again. And also, we have Mark Berman, who is the founder and editor-in-chief of Programming Insider, the online destination for network, cable, digital, and syndication. Berman has written for a wide range of publications, including Forbes, CBS Watch, Next TV, Promax, News Pro, the New York Daily News, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, the list goes on. And he's also appeared on television programs, including Entertainment Tonight, Extra, Access Hollywood, CBS Evening News, and CNN. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. All right. We might
can you hear me now?
Can hear you.
You
Yes,
can
sir.
hear me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that. Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you too, sir. And again, I think you win out for the best wall decorations every time.
There's a lot more on the other sides also.
Hey, next time we'll have to flip it around. Next up, we have Tim Hinchliffe, who's the editor for The Sociable, a publication that examines the intersection of technology and society. He's also held previous roles at Portugal Startups, Novo Brief, Columbia Reports, and the Ghanaian Chronicle, a newspaper based in West Africa. He's a frequent speaker at conferences, including the Horasis Global Meeting, as well as the Dublin Tech Summit. And he is always invited to appear on radio programs and podcasts to talk about his reporting. Tim, calling in from Medellin, Colombia. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me back. It's a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
Cheers.
And last but not least, we have Travis Stanton, who is an editor at Exhibitor Magazine, a leading publication covering the events and corporate marketing space. Before joining Exhibitor, Travis was a segment producer for the Miss Universe organization, as well as a managing editor at Lavender Magazine. He actually, his business had just sold as well. So congratulations to you, Travis, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm excited to hear the pitches and see what we've got today.
Awesome, guys. Well, again, we're super honored to have such a talented host of journalists. So thanks for being with us. We'll go ahead and we'll begin the competition. I'm going to go and bring on each presenter in the presenter role. From there, you'll be able to share your screens and you'll be able to present for 2 minutes, and I will be timing you, after which we'll stop and we'll take a quick break for journalists to give some feedback and ask some questions. So first up, and I know it's early in the morning for you, Jeremy, but we have Jeremy from Trip Candy. Jeremy, give me 1 second and I will give you the presenter role. All right. And once you start sharing your screen and you begin, I will start the timer. So let's see, let us know if you, there you go.
Okay.
All right, cool, Jeremy. I can see your screen and I can hear you loud and clear. So whenever you're ready, sir, we'll start the clock.
All right, I'm ready. Hi, I'm Jeremy Fu, and I'm the founder and CEO of Trip Candy. Have you ever been to a hotel only to be denied because you didn't pre-book online, or maybe you didn't have access to banking services? So millions of people worldwide are facing this problem. The reason is not because they do not want to pre-book it online, but they are unable to do so. Partly because they do not have access to banking services, let alone credit cards. 1.7 billion people worldwide do not have a bank account, which is about 1/4 of the entire world's population. These demographic of users have adopted crypto, where their bank accounts are now in crypto wallet addresses and they're accepting pay and salary in form of crypto. But there's one issue. They do not have much opportunity to spend their crypto online. And one of the biggest markets right now is the travel and tourism industry, which stands at $2 trillion as of 2020. This is where Trip Candy comes in. Trip Candy bridges the gap between the crypto industry and the travel industry. We provide a way for people to book their hotels online and pay by crypto, where our customers get to spend their crypto and hotels need not handle the risk of crypto price fluctuation. Likewise, our customers get to earn crypto cashback rewards, and our hotel get access to a whole new range of customer base. So for us at Trip Candy, we are focused on Southeast Asia, where our service adjustable or obtainable market size is at $100 billion. So we do hope that you join us at Trip Candy in connecting crypto and travel together. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jeremy, for that presentation. We'll go ahead and we'll open up for questions, comments from the media panel. And again, please feel free to just shout out. It's very informal. Anybody want to start us off?
I could start if you'd like.
Yeah,
I
Mark.
do have a question. I thought the presentation was really well done. Really, everything about it was easy flow. I'm curious regarding the chart where you talk about the travel business through 2020, which of course went way down.
Yeah.
What are you predicting for this year? How much is it going to go up? Do you have that?
So right now I've only recorded up to.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, so up to 2020 when the COVID hit. As of now, from what to my knowledge, it has nearly risen back to its 80% level. But I do not have the exact information right now.
Thank you.
I have a question. Sorry, you want to go ahead? Sorry.
Sure. Hey, thanks for the presentation. My question is whether you've trialed this, and could you tell us a bit about how that went?
Okay, so we actually previously did an MVP where we allow people to book through another third-party form of payment. So in Indonesia, for example, they usually go through a third person or a friend who has a credit card or debit card. So they will pay crypto to that guy, and that guy will help them book it online. So I realized that this is one of the major problems that they have. But because as crypto adoptions in especially like Indonesia, where people are doing play to earn models with crypto, their livelihoods are everything around crypto. But the only biggest issue is not a lot of platforms allow them to pay in crypto as of yet. So the moment that they heard of our product, we actually pitched to them and we raised funds in terms of crypto. We raised about $1 million from crypto BNB from all these demographic of users.
I was curious, what was the number that you said of people who don't have access to banking worldwide?
Okay, so in Southeast Asia, it's about 60%, but the whole entire globe is about 1.7 billion people. Yeah.
I think what was missing for me, and what I'd be curious if you know, is so we have that number, but then there's the assumption that those people have gone to crypto. Do you have any sense of the percentage of that particular audience that don't have access to traditional banking or credit cards that are actively using crypto?
So we do not have that exact demographics, but what we can do is we actually use the max caps for crypto as a whole, because the total addressable market size for travel is way bigger. But what we are looking at is within Southeast Asia, where we notice that 60% of the people do not have crypto, but they are one of the top adopters for crypto itself.
Okay.
Navanita, did you have a question as well?
Yeah, it's just it's very interesting because it's in Southeast Asia. I just wanted to know how are you also doing this in India as well? Because there it's like very difficult to do work with crypto, as far as I know.
Yeah, from my understanding is that yes, we are aware that crypto, there's certain limitations, or there's certain tax on crypto right now, but surprisingly, I would say about 10 to 20% of my investors are from India as well, and they are quite supportive of this whole project in general.
Very cool, Jeremy. Well, thank you so much. Great
Just one more.
presentation. Oh, sure.
Yeah, sorry, just to make it real quick, Jeremy, good presentation. And I was just wondering, apart from being able to pay with crypto, what is there any difference from like other platforms like Kayak or Orbitz or Booking.com? Is the main selling point here the crypto, or are there any other features that separate it?
Okay, so we not only accept crypto as payment, we do accept credit cards and other third-party payment flows. But I think what we also allow people to do is, a lot of people do not want to sell the crypto because they see it as a form of investment. So we actually allow them to collateralize their crypto, like their NFT, where example, if their NFT is worth, say, $10,000, they were to collateralize with us, we will loan them like $2,000 or $4,000 in order to spend on traveling, and they will have to pay us back over time. This way, they do not need to sell their crypto, if assuming that they have a special NFT that they really want to hold for the long term. So we are trying to not compete with Booking.com or those major travel agency, but we want to focus on a specific niche, then dominate that market before we try other kind of niches.
All right, Jeremy. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for the questions as well from the media panel. We'll go ahead and we'll move on to the next startup. Before we do, I just wanted to make sure, judges, when you're scoring, if you could please be sure to look for your column with your name in it, and not score in anybody else's column as well. Just to be sure, if anybody has any questions, feel free to just message Eunice on the chat, and she can also kind of walk you through that too. The next startup we have is Ryan from PhotoFlow. Ryan, are you with us?
Hello.
Hey, Ryan, give me 1 second and I'll give you the presenter role.
No problem.
All right.
As you get that ready, I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here and be with these other great startups, and thank you, judges and journalists, for taking your time to help us.
No, thanks, Ryan. And thanks for coming. You should be able to share your screen now.
Okay, just 1 second. Okay. This one's out. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Ryan O'Grady, CEO of PhotoFlow.
Yep, we could see your screen and we can hear you loud and clear. Just as a heads up, you're not in like the full presenter mode, but no worries, like however you prefer, just in case.
Just 1 second. I selected the okay. How's that?
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, we could see you and we can hear you loud and clear. So whenever you're ready, Mark, just go
Great.
ahead.
I'm sorry for taking a minute, but do you see the full screen of my presentation?
We still see the like the URL at the top, so we don't have like the full presentation screen.
Oh, okay, that's okay. But okay, that's fine. We'll proceed. So hello, my name is Ryan O'Grady. I'm the CEO of PhotoFlow, and we can help every tour and activity business in the world gain what is most important to them: more customers. So the tour and activity economy is booming. We've never had more choices to purchase experiences, whether it's a Philly food tour, a Philadelphia food tour, safari in Africa. There's something for everyone. And people invest in these experiences to create memories with their loved ones, but more often than not, we miss capturing these memories altogether. Imagine going to Hawaii, paying for a once in a lifetime zipline tour and not getting a quality photo, or where every photo you take is missing yourself or a family member. Most tour and activity businesses don't provide photos to their customers at all. They may take photos on your smartphone, or they'll be happy to sell you your own memories on a USB stick, or some even still print photos and throw out the ones that don't get purchased. Either way, when customers receive and share these photos, they never include the brand of the business, which means zero marketing benefit, zero connection to that brand, and zero value to the business who provided them. So we have solved this problem by providing automated software for tour and activity businesses, allowing easy delivery of branded photos by email and text message to their customers, and in a way where shared photos are tracked through social media. So with PhotoFlow, businesses will increase referral business through organic and trackable photos shared by their customers, and increase repeat business by remarketing to past customers with their own memories. So PhotoFlow is a word of mouth marketing engine that provides the most personalized marketing media to every customer, their own memories, helping to turn past customers into trackable, lifelong advocates. PhotoFlow has more than 100 tour and activity operators as subscribers currently, and there are more than 85,000 businesses in our core markets in North America alone. So I invite all of you to follow us on our journey to help tour and activity businesses grow and help capture free, cherished memories for their customers. Thank you.
Awesome, Ryan, and right on time too. Great presentation. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions from the media panel. Paulo, please.
Hi, yeah, great work, Ryan. That sounds really interesting to me. And of course, I'm coming from my own perspective in the food and beverage industry. And curious if you're, as far as verticals go, that PhotoFlow would be interested in partnering with. Have you looked into that realm or industry at all?
Absolutely, yeah. So our vision is that every business that provides an experience worth remembering is actively capturing those memories for their guests and giving them to their customers. And when you think about that, the scope of that industry really is pretty vast. But we work with, I think, 60 different types of tour and activity and attraction businesses, everything from a resort right down to a owner operator of a local food tour. So we work with wine tours, food tours, walking tours, hiking, flying, extreme flying tours in Australia, everything that you can imagine, we currently work with. And yeah, so it's obviously a very broad application.
Jonathan.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
Cool. Good. Very good. Thanks.
Good. I was wondering, I know you just mentioned that, I guess PhotoFlow, works with different resorts and so forth, but can you say, can you tell us, maybe other countries where PhotoFlow can be used as well?
Yeah, we have clients currently in over 10 different countries. So we work with iconic brands. Currently, most of our clients are in North America, predominantly the US. But we work with, like I said, every type of tourism business you could imagine. Scuba diving in Sydney, Australia, whitewater rafting in New Zealand. We work with trolley pubs and pedal pubs. We work with in Portugal, Spain, UK, every all over the world, and really every type of high adventure type of activity, right down to low impact, like I said, wine tours, food tours, walking tours, and any type of business that provides an experience that their customers just want to remember can benefit by adding service, doing this as added value for their customers and then getting the benefit of their customers marketing their business, quite frankly, better than they can.
Hey, Ryan, nice job on the presentation. Really kept my attention.
Thank
I'm
you.
just curious. I'm curious, how does the pricing work for this? What does this, how does it work? Is it licensed? How does that work?
Thank you for asking. Yeah, we have a subscription model. So there's 4 different levels that really suit any type of business. So whether you're an owner operator, you know, and you're just a solopreneur, or whether you're a resort or even multinational, we have clients that and organizations that have locations, 10 to 15 different locations that they manage. There's a price point for each of them. Like I said, it's subscription-based pricing. It's all on our website, photoflow.com/pricing. It's very easy to understand. You can pay annually, biannually, and it just really opens up the service for any business that that wants to help their customers remember their experience.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ryan? All righty. Well, Ryan, thank you so much on a really great presentation, and congrats on everything you've built so far as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. Guys, a really quick PSA to the media judges. If you could be extremely careful, I think that there's multiple people that are scoring in Judge 1 column. And so if you look at the different columns as you move to the right of the screen, you'll find your name. But just to make sure, because we've already claimed that one for Amanda. And so, but yeah, so I just want to be sure that we're making sure all of the scores are correct. So could you just take a quick second in the judges scorecard to find your guys' name? Okay, awesome. And while we do that, we'll go ahead and we'll bring on the next presenter. I have Jason from Social Bee. Jason, give me 1 second and I'll pass you the presenter role, sir. Okay, Jason, you should be able to share your screen.
All right.
All right, perfect. And before you start, just give me 1 sec. I just want to make sure, judges, any questions regarding that scorecard that I can answer right now before we move on? All right, cool. All right, Jason, I can see your screen and I can hear you loud and clear as well. So I think whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and start the timer.
All right, great. Thank you. So everyone has an adventure to share, and it's our goal to connect the world through shared experiences. Hello, and thanks for having me. My name is Jason Labat. I'm the founder of Social Bee, where adventures await. You can think of Social Bee as Pokemon Go meets TripAdvisor. Creators, like tour guides and travel enthusiasts, can create self-guided tours and scavenger hunts using interactive elements for others to consume for free or for a fee. Find fun things to do, whether in your hometown or halfway around the world. Go on an awesome experience that guides you through the city's history, the art, or perhaps a hike in the mountains. Social Bee is your itinerary and virtual guide, taking you step by step indoors and outdoors around the world. Our augmented reality platform guides people to points of interest containing activities like tips, clues, videos, audio, and challenges, which currently include trivia, photo, and video. Our platform even helps with the logistics of getting to and from points of interest to help navigate a new city. Beyond our technology, what's especially unique about Social Bee is the marketplace and the ability for anyone with a smartphone to create and publish a self-guided tour or scavenger hunt and offer their experience for free or for a fee. The creator creates the experience once and makes money every time someone purchases their experience. It's a passive income opportunity and has the possibility of generating tremendous revenue for adventurepreneurs. And soon experiences uploaded to Social Bee will be available in 26+ languages. We want to make exploring the world as fun as playing video games. And we think if we can do that, we can inspire a generation to enjoy what's out there for as long as it's out there. That's why 5% of our profits go towards conservation efforts to protect the beautiful lands and species that inhabit them.
Alrighty, and just in time, thank you so much for your presentation there, Jason. I think we already have a question from Amanda, so we'll start with her.
Hi, I'm curious about in terms of the creator marketplace, if you could share what the cost split is between Social Bee and the creator, and if you've had creators test this so far, and if you could share a bit more about how that's gone for the creator.
Yeah, so the split is a 80-20 split. So the creator takes 80%. So kind of a typical platform fee. And then we are just about to exit our beta, and our app is currently only available on iPhone. So we have had a few different kind of proof of concepts and tests that we've ran in different markets that went well. We did one in Wynwood Walls in Miami with all the graffiti art. And right now we're in the process of deploying our app to both Android and iPhone, where we can hit a greater percent of the the addressable market.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Amanda.
I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry, Kate, go ahead.
Apologies.
We tied, yeah.
We're all loving and got lots of questions. I'm curious to know whether there's any plans to evolve this to maybe mixed reality or VR or metaverse platforms.
Yeah, so currently it is augmented reality. We are using computer vision. We also have some machine learning to do photo and video recognition and some of those kind of things. But yes, I think as the technology improves, the ability to take an in-person experience and make it virtual will be possible. It'll really just come down to our kind of ethos, because our mission really is to get people off the couch, out of their living room, out into the world and connecting there. So TBD.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question.
So I just wanted to ask you, I found this really interesting. So in other words, let's say I'm in New York. So let's say I go to the city and I film myself or whatever I do. I'm going to a museum and I'm looking at this, that, and the other thing. I could then upload it here and become a content provider and get paid for that. Is that how it works?
That's exactly how it works. So you create, let's say you've got your favorite art galleries downtown New York City, and you create the step-by-step experience, both between each of those art galleries and also inside each of art gallery, maybe explaining different pieces of art. And then you can charge $10 for that. And you take $8, we take $2 for a platform fee. So we definitely see this as an opportunity for creators, especially who've been kind of decimated through the pandemic, to create some resiliency so that in the next pandemic or the next thing that comes about, they can still generate revenue from their intellectual property, which is the knowledge of their tours or their city or neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your marketing plan on this in terms of, I think it's a really cool idea and I think it gives a lot of flexibility to creators, but if travelers don't know about it, obviously they're unused. So what's kind of going to be your approach or how are you going about raising awareness?
Great question. So we have the typical marketplace dilemma where, and I had plenty of people when this was just an idea who brought that up, and I was like, no, we'll get over that hump. But the reality is it's difficult. The first challenge is to get creators on there and provide something of value that they can see how they can take this and turn it into their own, business. And then from there, the experiences themselves will do a lot to sell themselves. And, we're doing some social advertising around people who are traveling to, say, New York. We're able to pick up on that and show some ads for some experiences that we have in New York. But a big part of it is the shared content from the experience. So when you go on a tour and you take pictures, you share that content. We have these little memories. So it takes all your photos and videos, smashes it into a dynamically created video that you can share on your Instagram or TikTok or wherever. So that's kind of the viral piece of it, but obviously we need to hit a critical mass in order for that to really take hold.
All right. Well, thank you both, and thank you very much for the questions from the judges. Jason, fantastic, and congratulations on everything you're building so far.
Thank you so much.
For sure. We'll go ahead and we'll bring on Max from Architecturalist. Max, give me 1 second and I'll give you the presenter role. Let's see here. Here we go, Max. Sorry about that. Wasn't finding you. All right, Max, you should be able to share your screen now.
Let me try. See it all good?
It's loading. 1 sec.
Okay. Well, it's loading. Let me say that I'm Max, and a pleasure to meet you.
It's really great to have you, Max. Thank you very much. And you're also part of the California Syndicate, so it's really great to have that representation. I think there's a little bit of a delay. Let me try to, there you go, bam.
Okay.
We're in. I can see your screen and we can hear you loud and clear. So whenever you're ready, sir, I'll begin the timer.
All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Max, co-founder of Architecturalist, where we reimagine how architectural properties are sold. Architecture's significant house is not just a home, it's an art. Now we can finally discover, buy, and sell it the right way that benefits everyone. The current way of selling architectural homes is ineffective and doesn't realize their full potential, and this is why. The homes are often valued based on generic factors rather than architectural or historical importance. Architectural homes are lost in the crowd of regular homes. Bidding war lacks transparency, is outdated, and needs to be reimagined. How we solve it? We help homeowners sell architectural properties at a higher price point by combining these three things. Well-researched content that communicates the true value of the property to buyers, target audience that we market the home to with this content, and online auction platform that allows a hit audience to participate in the sale where time is limited, other bids are known, and everyone takes part in the discussion, revealing even more value of the home. All that means that the house is sold for a higher price at the expense of that hidden value. It went into the hands of the enthusiast, so it will most likely be preserved for years to come, and the agent saves time and cash on promotions. There is a $1,000 listing fee for the seller to use the platform and content created for them, and winning bidder pays what we call a buyer's premium, which is 1.5% from winning bid. We estimate our serviceable obtainable market in California at $3.2 billion a year, and are aiming for 60 auctions till the end of 2022. Thus, we hope to rectify the situation first with these 60 works of art and continue to disrupt market for architectural residential properties in the future. That's it, please.
All right, perfect. And under time, which is always awesome. Max, thank you so much for that. We'll go ahead and we'll open up for any questions from the panel. Amanda, please.
Hi, I love interesting architecture, so I feel like this is right up my alley, but I'm curious about what your plan is for finding people that might want to use the platform, and how you would overcome the risk of, like, do people want to use names that they already know for such a big sale, or like how are you planning to find people to use the app?
Of course. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, so the main thing is that we're just a platform. So the listings are going to be listed everywhere as usual, Zillow, MLS, everywhere. So this is just a platform for bids. If you're familiar with the Bring It trailer, the same thing for the cars, like classic cars. They made about what, 800 million last year. And this is the same model, right? But for the homes. So we have it's a combination of the audience of enthusiasts. We do a lot of research, well-researched articles. We deep into history. And when the house like that hits the market on Zillow or wherever, there's always like a lot of people wanting it. So because like Acklers, like Laudners, I don't know, Quincy Jones. So it's like it's a really significant thing, right? So then the bidding is terrible unless they go to our website, and then it's all in one place where you can see all the bids and the comments, and a lot of enthusiasts join to tell more information about the house. I hope I answered the question correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks, Amanda. We'll go with Jonathan and then Mark.
Hey, so I think you might have touched on this already. You said that I guess you use the search engines such as like Zillow and so forth. But how do you filter through all of the different homes that are out there that are on sale or available, and try to put them on your platform as well? How do you kind of navigate through that, if that makes sense?
Of course, yeah. So okay, let me we work with the agents, right? And now what we do, we have a database of all the architects that fit our model, and then we got all the houses that they've built. Now we have this huge database. Now it's in California, then we're going to expand in other states. So we're primarily interested in houses that never been on the market. That's the best, or like the upcoming listings. So now we're reaching out to the owners, and we're writing well-researched articles about the house. That's how we meet the owner. And then it's always nice to have a lot of information. For example, we found like original drawings of the Hickson house in LA that I believe the Hickson donated. That was the Quincy Jones original drawing. So stuff like that. It's always interesting for the owner to get it, and then after that, of course, if they are interested, they know that we have this platform. That's the first iteration. They also work with all the agents that are specializing in the architectural homes. Like in LA, it's a Crosby Doe, very well-known name, and other agents. Agencies. So we have the list of those agents. We also try to collaborate with the media, by the way, as well. So like upcoming listing, for example, is like something like extraordinary, right? It's like $10 million, like one of a kind, super crazy architecture, and we collaborate agent, like media outlet, and architecturalists. For example, we can find some info, like we have historians on board, and we can find some dig deep into the archives, find some info, and then media can cover that, like the upcoming listing. So we have it's an exposure, and it's how to say that. Anyways, I can say it in Ukrainian.
Yeah, exposure promotion. Huh?
Yeah. So that's how we do it, and that's like another strategy. We also have a couple other things, like just like regular farming with the like classic kind of ways. But that's kind of it, because like, thank you, Jonathan.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Go ahead, Mark.
Curious, I actually personally have a real estate license. I've sold a few houses in my time. And I'm curious about this. You're saying you work with real estate agencies. Do you have a deal with a certain agency across the country, or how does a real estate agency sign up with you? How does that work?
Sure. Yeah, that's basically they don't need to sign up. It's just open platform. So wherever they have the listing, they post it everywhere. And again, we do like photography and videography, because those houses, they has to be presented a little bit different, like not just a regular kind of like, even the good pictures. We need to get into the details, because that's like, it's a lot of small details, even like some tech things or something like that. For example, like I've been in a house that you push the button, the roof opens, so we got to capture that on camera and all that stuff. So they just list everywhere they want, and then the agents, and then whenever there's the someone who wants to make an offer, they just lead them to our website, and people started to kind of like making offers, which is like bids, right? Just online. So now the offers are not hidden. Now offers are presented to everyone, and you can see them. online. So that's how it works. There's no sign up for the agents. There's the only thing for the bidders though, to be able to bid, we screen them for the pre-approval or funds on their account. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
All righty, Max. Well, congrats again on everything you built, and thank you for your presentation as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Next up, we're going to bring up Siri with Juice. Siri, give me 1 second, and I will make you a co-host.
I'm actually not going to be using a deck, so I was wondering if you could
no
actually
worries.
just like pin me or something like that, or if that's possible.
Yeah, for sure. I'll still
Okay.
give you the presenter role. Just give me 1 sec. That'll be the best.
Cool.
All righty. All right, Siri, you should be ready to roll. Whenever you start, I'll start the timer.
Great. Everyone can hear me okay? All right. What's up, everybody? I'm Siri, rep in Brooklyn, New York. I'm one of the co-founders as well as the CEO of Juice. Over the past couple of years, you have all probably written about COVID-19, and especially how it has caused millennials and Gen Zs to undergo the Great Resignation, the Great Migration, and one massive problem that it's caused as millennials and Gen Zs are reimagining their day-to-day mobility is how they go about accessing preventative healthcare. So what we are building is Juice, which is an app where modern nomads can get paired with precision wellness services as they move and travel. So as a user, you can go onto our app, design a version of yourself, self-report any type of health symptom you might be experiencing, and get paired with 3 to 5 wellness recommendations in your area that you can access at that moment. So gone are the days where you're going down the Google rabbit hole of figuring out what's wrong with you. Gone are the days where you're dropping hundreds of bucks at the urgent care when you might not have even needed to go there to begin with. And so in also interfacing with you all as the media, as a health tech company, look, we fundamentally believe that healthcare is a human right, and the ability for someone to make a choice over their healthcare and the agency that they feel from that is a pretty universal feeling that we can all relate to and build community around. So we are trying to make healthcare a little bit more individualized to represent the way we all live, work, and be in this new future. And so we're Juice. We're based out of Brooklyn. Getyourjuice.app is our website, and check us out. Happy to answer any questions.
Right on. Awesome, Siri. Well, thank you so much. Great presentation. I know Mark has a question, so we'll open it up with Mark. Oh, Mark, I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. Thank you very much for that. It sounds interesting. A couple of things. You mentioned millennials and Gen Z, but I'm assuming this is for everybody, correct? Like,
yeah, totally.
I could use it also. I'm not either of those groups, but I find it interesting. How are you promoting this? How are we learning about this app? How do you get the word out?
Great question. So in that 2-minute pitch, I wasn't able to give you all the full scope of what we're doing, but we're a B2B2C marketplace. And so right now we're focused on onboarding wellness businesses in the New York City area onto our platform. And we've provided them with an enterprise software that allows to manage their day-to-day. And these business owners are also Gen Zs and millennials who now constitute 65% of business owners in wellness. And we've provided them with an enterprise software that has a point of sale system that they can manage entirely their business from their mobile device. And so in working with businesses to onboard them onto our platform is how we reach their customers. So right now we are just in the enterprise space with these businesses. Pre-launch, we had 10 letters of intention for businesses entirely converting their software into using Juice. Big players like Squarespace, Acuity, MindBody are now switching to using Juice to manage their business. And as we continue to build and are able to raise funding to build our consumer side is how we're going to be pairing everyone together.
Thank you.
I have a question. When you say wellness, do you mean healthcare, as in health services by health professionals that, for example, you may be covered by your health insurance in a conventional sense? Or do you mean wellness in terms of maybe alternative therapies or something like, I don't know, meditation or yoga?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. So starting off, we are wholly just considering wellness. So things like yoga or massage, or even things like Pilates, Reiki, doula. And as we are able to actually show that through these sorts of holistic healthcare, which we consider to be preventative healthcare, if we can show the right types of health outcomes, is how we're hoping to take this in the direction of being recognized by key healthcare stakeholders, from people like payers to EMRs to even concierge medical clinics like One Medical or Parsley Health.
Jonathan.
Yeah, I think my question might have been, you might have just answered it, but I just want to just make sure. I guess you said that, you know, it mostly deals with wellness when it comes to yoga, or maybe you know, massage therapies, things of that sort. How are you able to find these businesses that you can relay over to a consumer of your app?
So great question. When we started to think about who could ideally use our product, and to speak to Mark's question a moment ago about who this product is really for, again, we identified on either side of the marketplace that Gen Zs and millennials were the group that was affected the most by the pandemic. And so that's our starting point. So many of our business owners who are our partners do also identify as Gen Zs and millennials. So they are already working with their target demographic. So the ability to really align with them on a mission sense. So first of all, like, we conducted due diligence to make sure that they also believe that healthcare is a right for everybody, and that they are sort of dedicated to providing inclusive health services for people. And then we conducted due diligence on how they are credentialed and certified, making sure that these people are authorized to work in the state of New York to start off with, making sure that they have the credentials for what they're actually offering. And so these folks are already working with the sort of client base that is supporting their business. And so this is just a starting point for us. But as we grow and scale and are able to expand in New York, we can create these market playbooks and really grow in other cities and hopefully launch around the country and around the world.
Awesome. Tim, and then Travis.
Yeah, hello. I had a question about the data and privacy. Just so, from what I'm gather is that the user has to put on or they build a profile for themselves, and then they give information. So I was wondering where that information goes, and if I mean, is it intimate health information, like these are my symptoms right now, or I'm feeling this, and then so this is my name. So now you have what my name is, and this is my information. And just so where did that data go?
Yeah, great question. So even though right now we're in the wellness space, we always knew that we wanted to build towards being into healthcare. And so from day one, we've built a really robust database management system where we are removing all unique identifiers that's involved with anyone's information. So HIPAA standards these days require 18 unique identifiers to be removed. And so despite the fact that we are still in this wellness space where a lot of the information might not necessarily be considered to be PHI, those are the standards that we're setting up for ourselves, because many of our business partners who do consider themselves to be in health and wellness follow those standards as well. So as I said, uniquely identifying these sorts of identifiers, and storing the information securely in our systems. And on our own, we conduct our own audits to make sure that we're doing things well. If technology is more cutting edge, like, we implement that. So for instance, these days, people are moving away from calling things a password to more of a passphrase to represent how we should have dynamic passwords. And so we are on the cutting edge as a young team, as a team that's really fresh and scrappy with what we're doing to be able to do things the right and ethical way.
Fantastic. Travis, we'll go ahead with you.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions for you. First, I'm just curious, and you might have touched on this, but how are you actually generating the revenue? Is it from the business creating a listing, or is it from the actual booking that's done by the user?
Great question. So generally the players in our space, in the enterprise space at least, they imbibe a SaaS, so a monthly subscription fee, as well as charging each business for every transaction that is facilitated by their credit card. So each business has to pay like 2.9% plus 30 cents on top of this monthly subscription fee. We felt like that was a major barrier of entry, especially for millennial and Gen Z owned businesses that are just getting started and wanting to also build businesses like as a result of the pandemic. And so for now, as we populate our marketplace, we've done away with any SaaS or transaction fees. Rather, we put that as an onus on the customer. So the customer, as they're transacting with us, they pay us a 5% charge as well as pay that transaction fee. And with every business we work with, they agree to exclusively use Juice to power their business. So then every subsequent transaction is through Juice entirely. And so that's how we're generating revenue for now. But as we move forward and have more of a critical mass of businesses on our platform, we're probably going to start enforcing guardrails around the minimum requirements to come on to our marketplace. So things like minimum revenue, and also creating more of a competition with the marketplace, as that is ultimately what will be our strategic advantage.
What, from a user experience point of view, what makes this better or easier for me than just, Googling, Pilates, Brooklyn,
Yeah, I think that's a totally fair point. And the truth is that if you and I were to both look up Pilates Brooklyn right now, we would probably both get the same search results. But the truth is that you and I are totally different people, and your needs might be different from my needs. And instead of exposing people to mass market sort of choices that might not actually suit them, we're actually tailoring that content so that what you see and what you are actually able to go through with is something that's suited to your needs, your tastes, your preferences. Because this is what individualized medicine is about. It's about creating the sort of environment and the choice architecture to elevate everyone's unique journey to well-being and health, and not to really have a one size fits all.
Jonathan, go ahead.
I have another question. I guess will there be an area for people to see comments or maybe reviews? Will the search come up? I guess will it be predicated on the reviews or the rating of that particular business?
Yeah, so we have a few ways of thinking about that, because as you all probably use Yelp and these apps, it seems like every single business has 4.7 or 4.8 stars, right? So it's how can you really delineate what's good versus what's bad? And I think we're kind of approaching it on the sense of maybe having swipe features as opposed to star ratings, giving the ability for someone to comment as to whether a service made them feel affirmed, as opposed to really rating the service itself. And so creating just new structures for people to be honest and also feel like they can get a sort of objective view of how the service is. So I think it's a work in progress, but we do recognize that standard rating systems don't always provide the key information that people need to make their decisions.
Cool.
Right. Awesome, Siri. Well, great work. I mean, coming from a company with a lot of colleagues that are spread out all over the world, I think this could be definitely useful. So looking forward to when you scale outside of New York.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. We're going to go ahead and bring up our next startup. We have Shirley with Choosy. Shirley, give me 1 second and I'll give you the co-host permission. While I'm bringing Shirley up, I wanted to also do a quick PSA for all the judges. If you wouldn't mind making sure that all your scores are up to date so that we can tally them really quickly. We'll be running kind of short on time. So just a quick reminder to keep judging or keep scoring in the scorecard. All right, Shirley, you should be able to share your screen. All right.
Microphone on, sharing screen. Do you see it?
Yes, ma'am. See it, and I can hear you loud and clear too. So whenever you're ready, Shirley, just start and we'll go ahead and start the timer.
Perfect. I'm Shirley. I'm the founder of Choosy. It's an app where collectors can follow their favorite collectors and then shop from their collections. Mark Berman, I can see that you have a thematic gallery of things behind you. Just letting you know.
Here you go.
On Choosy, you can join a massive world that is natural items, arts and media, etc., and then go down to your community of people obsessed with the same stuff thematically or categorically. So you can have someone to flex to. Right now, 1 in 3 American adults collect some kind of physical object. And interesting enough, 22% of them identify as women. And based on our UX research, women like me, I collect plants, collect differently, about inspiration. And we buy from our peers who are plant collectors who have the best stuff. Rather than competition, it's inspiration. Oh, sorry. Ooh. Right now, online, our journeys it's really disjointed. It's a lot of it of buying and selling is untrustworthy and also time consuming and costly. We're stringing along like PayPal, Facebook groups, Reddit, a lot of services, and nothing is meant to facilitate community and then the economy within those communities. And this is also useful for non-collectors because imagine we're collecting all the collectors. These people are hard to find too. So this is Choosy. You can focus yourself on the passion community you're into. You can subscribe to specific objects that you're obsessed with and collect. You can find collections and see the collections of your peers, get a sense of their taste and style, and then, of course, buy and sell goods and services. If I collect plants and I need someone to care for my plant, it should be somebody that knows and loves it, like me. Our growth strategy is to completely verticalize
10
based
seconds.
on not what?
Oh, sorry, 10 seconds.
Okay. Sorry. We have traction. It's 1,000 waitlisters. It's high growth. We're in the social commerce space. I am a creative who has, I operate a creative studio and I studied computer science. I'm multidisciplinary. Thank you. Sorry.
No worries. And you're a rock star too, Shirley. So thank you so much for that. I know there's going to be some questions too from the panelists. So we'll hop right into them. Navanita, I see your hand raised.
Yeah. Hi, Shirley. That's great. Can you explain to me the e-commerce side of this? You said that you can sell and buy too, right?
Yes. So Choosy combines community and commerce. So the sense is less business to consumer, and more peer-to-peer commerce, which means that as a collector, how I buy is I might sell off 10% of my collection in order to have the space and the money to buy the next thing. It's a chain reaction. Most people will sometimes buy and sometimes sell, so they should be able to do both. It's not necessarily a two-sided market. It's kind of a more fluid network. And we do that by encouraging peers to support their peers, their neighbors who are obsessed with the same things as them. Kind of like a convention, a swap, or a festival, but online.
Very cool. Sorry, Navanita, did you have a follow-up or?
No, I just said thanks.
Okay, fantastic. We'll go ahead with Mark and then Paolo.
Well, this is what my desk looks like. I collect a lot of TV memorabilia. And I basically, every day I'm online looking for more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, if I come to Choosy and I put in, so basically I put in what I'm interested in, and it's going to show me what's for sale. And this is going to be through people through like private collections, or is it through, how does that work? Who's selling the products?
The people selling the products are your friends. So people who like in the art and media world, TV memorabilia, we might find people that you know and connect with, and you can see into their private collections, and you can put up yours. So if you're selling off part of it that you don't love anymore, you can mark those things for sale, and everyone else can also do that. So you might follow somebody that you know in person, or you just like the way their collection looks and want to know when they add something new to it or mark something for sale.
So
and
it's
you would be
sort of,
okay.
is it sort of like an eBay type environment?
eBay is a little bit more anonymous. The communal aspect is you see the collector, you see their private collection, and not everything's for sale. Maybe they're just showing off most of their collection and sometimes marking it for sale, but you would be notified if one of your favorite collectors, somebody that you friended or followed, had marked something from their collection for sale. So you're like, Tom is my friend. He's in my community, and I see that he marked that thing that I wanted for sale. I'm going to take that from Mark.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
All righty. We have time for Paulo, and then we'll have Travis.
Hey, great presentation. I thought that was really interesting. And I love also just the design of the whole thing. I think it's really compelling. And I think that maybe my question is a little bit like Mark's here, where I'm kind of curious the differentiation between the business angle of it and the social media angle, because one thing that comes to mind for me is that somebody may kind of encounter choosy. And I noticed the use of the word collector, and I think that's a really intentional choice, is that someone encounters choosy and they're like, oh, this is perfect for my craft honey business. And because it's a collection too, or like it has a cute aesthetic. And I'm curious how you're controlling for or intentionally curating the experience to be more this kind of social media built around comic book collections and TV memorabilia, say, rather than businesses, kind of more like an Etsy or an eBay kind of thing.
Right. So one of the distinctions I'd like to make first is beyond Pokemon cards and things attached to certain franchises. The one way that is good about encouraging identity within community, the taste and style of each collector. I collect plants. Somebody else might collect albino plants, cactuses that look like whatever, or pink plants. That's why we allow people to peek into your collection. The sense of identity and community is what allows inspiration and not just the item to fuel it. It is the connection and kinship amongst people. So that social experience is the differentiator. And again, outside of the word collector, collectors are essentially just long tail niche buyers, right? I threw out, I went to the trash and found a box of vintage Kodak transparencies. I had to dig through Google, reading blogs about vintage photograph collectors, going to Reddit, Discord. 3 weeks later, I found somebody who specifically collects vintage photographs, negatives of beach and water scenes, and everything I had from 1952 to 56, Cuba, Spain. That was all of that. He offered me $200 and he was like, I'll take it this week. So collecting all the collectors is useful for non-collectors sometimes too, because you're finding the people who might be interested in that weird and wacky stuff that you don't want to throw away, but who would want it, right?
All right, very interesting, Shirley, for sure. And I think you might have a potential customer in Mark, so we'll make sure to put you guys together.
Please waitlist, choosy.us.
Okay, sounds good. We're gonna go ahead and bring up our last presenter today. We'll put on Jerry from Atomic Entertainment Group. And while I bring up Jerry, again, I'm sorry to harp, another PSA, just to make sure that we have all of those scores in so we can go ahead and announce the winners right after we're done with this. Jerry,
yes,
you should be, hello. I see you there and you should be able to share your screen, sir.
Okay. Okay, are you guys able to see it?
Not yet.
Okay. Bear with me one sec.
No worries. There should be a little, there you go.
Got it. Okay, cool.
All righty. Whenever you're ready, please go ahead and I'll start the timer.
Sure. Okay, hi, I'm Jerry Colbert. I'm the creator of National Geographic Channel's #1 series, Brain Games, and Netflix's global hit science series, Brainchild. So yes, I love making shows with brain in the title, which is ironic because I did so poorly in math and science in high school that I actually had to go to summer school to graduate, which begs the question, how is this the same person? Well, outside of school, I was busy building model rockets and going to the Miami Museum of Science. But inside of school, I found it's so hard to engage with the subjects. They were so unrelatable and unfun. Sadly, math and science are still taught much the same way today, which is why barely 1/3 of kids are proficient. And that is a huge problem because we need people who are good at math and science. So I challenged myself to come up with a way to get people excited about learning. And the result was Brain Games, which shattered records and earned me an Emmy nomination. Then I made Brainchild for Netflix. So you think mission accomplished, right? Well, not exactly, because costly subscriptions and screens are obstacles to universal access. So to solve that problem, I created Who Smarted, which is a fun science and history podcast for kids with no screen or subscription required 3 times a week. And we created a series of immersive video camps that are based on the topics we cover on Who Smarted. In just 18 months since launch, Who Smarted's 200 episodes have been downloaded 5 million times, and we have nearly 70,000 monthly listeners. Who Smarted and its host, the trusty narrator, have become a fixture in homes, classrooms, at breakfast and bedtime, on car rides and road trips. Meryl from Ohio wrote to us and said, "My 8 and 10-year-old granddaughters are suddenly interested in science. Thank you, trusty narrator." I should mention, I am the trusty narrator, me, the kid who had to go to summer school to graduate. And I'm here because I believed that if I could make learning fun for me, I could make it fun for everyone. So I invite you to join me on my mission to make the world a better place by making learning fun.
All right, Jerry, awesome presentation. And thanks for taking us on a trip into your past as well. We'll go ahead. I think Amanda had her hand up first, and then we'll follow that with Mark and Travis. Amanda, please go ahead.
Hi, I think this is great. I really believe in making education more accessible and democratized. So I love learning about companies like this. And my question was to see, are you making money through like ad revenue on the podcasts, or like using the like sales of like the show to Netflix, or like what's your business model here?
So the business model is right now, primarily we make our revenue from these immersive camps we offer that we sell in bundles of 3 one-hour video adventure camps for the kids. We have Space Camp, we're about to release Sea Camp. We make some money from advertising that's growing as our listener base grows, but I would say we're very careful about what advertisers we accept on the show for the simple reason that we have kids listening. So our standards are very high. We actually haven't found a advertising network that we can work with comfortably yet. So we do our own ad sales and they are growing, but primarily the revenue right now is from the Smarty camps that we offer.
Cool, thanks.
Mark and then Travis. Oh, Mark, sorry, you're on mute again, sir.
I'm now unmuted. Hi, Jerry. Thank you for this. It's been very interesting. I'm curious, where do you find the people to do the podcasts with? How do you find the participants?
So all the podcasts are their narrative, right? So what we've done is we've created little immersive worlds. So if we're doing an episode on Amelia Earhart, we go back in time and we get in the plane with her, we fly across the ocean. If we're doing an episode on how gummy bears are made, we go back to Germany to the very first gummy bear factory and we do sound design. It's very immersive and narrative. So all of our participants are professional voice actors. Our writers are all people that we've worked with over the years at Nat Geo, Discovery Channel, Netflix, and our audio engineers are folks in New York and in Germany.
Thank you.
Travis, please go ahead.
Yeah, I love the personal connection and personal story. This storytelling is such an important part of this, especially for us on the media side. And I can imagine how this story would be told. I'm curious, what makes your camps, you said they're video camps, what makes them more immersive or different from other content that's just readily available on YouTube and on the net?
Sure. So most of the content, if not all the content on YouTube and the net is very presentational. So it's someone saying, here's a subject, we're going to teach you about it, watch us do this thing. The DNA of my company and my team is that everything we do, we want to make lean forward and engaging, whether that's a TV show, the podcast, or the camps. So the camps actually are direct, the presenters, although they're actors and they're playing roles, they speak directly to the children. They look directly at the lens, and there's quizzes that occur throughout the camp. There's activities where they actually do activities. They learn how to make a sundial, or they learn how to create the orbit of the moon, and they do drawings. And so there's actual interactive moments throughout the camps. So it's quite different from anything else that's out there. I'd also say one thing that differentiates us is everything we do is really fun and funny. And most educational stuff online is pretty dry.
Sure. Very cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions for Jerry? All right, Jerry, congratulations again. And awesome. I don't know, you don't seem like you came from a startup background. So is this the first company that you've launched, or?
This is we have a production company that's very B2B. We make a show for Netflix or Nat Geo. This is the first time we're launching any kind of consumer-facing company. It's definitely my first startup, and I will also say my very first pitch about the startup. So thank you guys for the opportunity and the feedback.
Awesome. Well, we're really happy to have you here for the first pitch. That's an honor, and congratulations again on everything you've built.
Thank you.
All right, judges. We have about 30 seconds or a minute to tally up your final score. So if you wouldn't mind just finalizing those scores within the doc. In the meantime, again, I mentioned at the beginning, we have this opportunity to speak with a host of really talented journalists. If any of the startups have any specific questions regarding best practices when contacting the media, please feel free right now to ask away, or any particular experiences that you've had as well. Love to hear. And don't be shy. No one. Ryan, have you started reaching out to the media yet for your company?
Yeah, so thanks for asking. We definitely had some PR wins, which has been great. So yeah, I had a really fun article around memory marketing that was published in Adweek, but cool. I love working with, we work with a number of different member-driven organizations that are kind of niche and support our tourism industry. So one of the things I thought may be useful for some of the startups and CEOs and founders here is to find those aggregate opportunities, like those partnership opportunities. We were integrated with a number of different partners, and it gains us access to our target market with a better product and platform. So I don't know, I saw some of the chat too, and there was mentions of, hey, have you heard of this? So yeah, those aggregate opportunities, they're, whether it's an integration partner, they can become they are part of your public, right? And they can help, elevate your brand to your target audience. So yeah, that's my answer to your question.
Okay, right on, Ryan. No, for sure. I know Max, looks like you have a question if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I wanted to say that, as I mentioned, we are collaborating with the agents and media and us. So what would be your advice, for example, if you have an upcoming house like this one I'm showing right now, or like this one, really important famous houses, if the agent says, okay, we're the owner wants to do the interview, we have history, we have we have this house upcoming in 2 months, for example, and what would be your advice to reach out to media? What's the approach to do it the best so that we can cover it?
Yeah, so maybe to summarize the question, there's a new listing, and so what would be the best approach to reach out to the media? I'm not sure if maybe Amanda or Kate, you have a comment for that.
Yeah, I think that it's important to pay attention to the outlet that you're pitching, what kinds of updates from companies they cover. So I know, for example, like at TechCrunch, we wouldn't cover like there's a new listing, but we might cover like Architecturalist like got funding from wherever, and here's what the app does. But I wonder if maybe more like architecture focused publications or like home buying publications would be a, but sorry, did I cut out for a second?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh no.
Go ahead. You were talking about architecture publications. That's the last thing we heard.
Yeah, I was just using that as an example, but I think like for any startup, it's always like really important to know what the publication you're pitching covers, and if you could see your story existing alongside those stories that are on their website already.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Madam. Makes total sense. Thank you.
Yeah, I can probably offer something to agree with what Amanda's already said. I'd also say, look at what does your audience read, like your end user? For example, it may be more trade publications, it may be more design publications. They may be focused more on things like Instagram and TikTok. I'm not all other types of newsletters or memberships. So you may find they're not necessarily where you think they are.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Travis, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, I was just going to add the thing about knowing your audience, also know the people that you're pitching to, like develop relationships with them over time, because I get so many pitches from people I've never heard of pitching things. And if I need to read to the second paragraph to figure out what it is or why it applies to me and to what I do at Exhibitor, it's getting deleted. I just don't have the time. And I was going to also say on what Kate was saying, you know, using social media, because you've got, I mean, just scrolling through your listings, those photos are gold. I mean, they're stunning. I want to follow you on social media because I love that kind of stuff. But then developing that community and finding those influencers in that space, I think is going to also lead you to the right outlets that are going to be good for you. And I just had one other thing that is tangential side note to this, but the one thing that I wrote down that stood out to me from all of the pitches, and I was really impressed with all of them. I think this is super exciting, and was really impressed with all of you. But I wrote down, Jason from Social Bee said it's Pokemon Go meets TripAdvisor, and that crystallized that product so beautifully for me that I was like, that's my pull quote. That's what I'm going to put. And I get a sense also of the personality behind the brand. So I already have a sense of like, what is that interview going to be like? How is this going to be structured? So I think just having those little crystallized moments, those little phrases, those few words that are going to say a lot more than the number of words that are there really help you to convey kind of what you're doing, what you want to do. And it helps give me a very clear picture of who you are. So kudos to everybody.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent feedback. Thank you so much, Travis. I think we have time for one more question. Jason, I see your hand raised if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate all of you guys for being here. And I guess my question is, being in a startup in the day-to-day, you can't see the forest through the trees. And it's trying to understand how to, and I get that my pitch needs to be short, first paragraph, first sentence, but how to position it, a brand where ultimately I want promotion, right? I want to be featured. I want people to learn about my product, but to do so in a newsworthy way, and kind of just balancing that editorial versus promotional aspects of it.
I mean, Amanda and Kate, you might have the most expertise in this, judging by your hundreds of emails and inboxes.
Yeah. Look, honestly, one thing you may not know, or any of you, publications I work for, we invariably have to pitch our story ideas to our own editors. So we need a hook already. So when you're sending us something, make it easy for us, because basically what our editors, or mine anyway, I have a few different ones, will say to me is, why should the reader care? What's in it for them? Why do they care? Why do they want to learn about this? So if you think about maybe that storytelling aspect, even if it's a new company, even if you don't have an end product, maybe there's a story behind the founding, maybe there's the people, maybe there's a learning or I don't know, a mistake or something that's gone wrong that would be good to know about. Those sorts of things can sometimes really bring something alive, because it's not just like, hey, I've got a product, but I've got something that, you know, other people could get something from, some kind of gain or knowledge or something.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Kate's advice is really on point, and I think it's good that you're aware of the fact that there is kind of like a tension between the goals, where like the journalist's goal is to tell an interesting story and the startup's goal is to get promotion. And I don't think that's inherently bad, but I think that it's good to acknowledge that, in the sense of like, if you aren't able to say to yourself, like, why will this journalist who's getting 100 emails today care about this? Then like, yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't have to be like a funding round, and it doesn't have to be a particularly big funding round. It can be something like Kate said, where maybe there's like an interesting story behind the company or an interesting thing that you encountered. And yeah, I mean, I feel like one of the biggest pieces of like PR advice is just kind of like, be a person. Like, I feel like sometimes people pitch me as though I'm like a robot, or like they follow up like 5 times, and I'm like, clearly, like, I'm not responding if you followed up 5 times. But yeah, I think just like basic social skills go a long way, and just kind of like being a nice person.
Yeah, it's really about building relationships, because I've been doing this a very long time, and I know a lot of different people, and I get pitched constantly. I mean, I probably within the last hour and a half, 3 publicists, you know, sent me emails, and I'm not complaining. I'm glad I'm still on their radar, but I always pay more attention to the ones that are coming from the people that I personally know. And, you know, it's like kind of like picking up the phone, talking to an old friend. So I think if you're, you know, and if you're a publicist, I think the way to really go about it is, you know, meet the people, talk to them, learn about them. You know, in the old days before the pandemic, let's have lunch, or let's have a cup of coffee, or let's do that. So hopefully we'll come back to that, you know, who knows? But I think it's really about building relationships.
Yeah,
thank you.
Totally agree. And I think that, you know, having the top line overview, a really succinct statement, you know, that's opening your email, especially if I don't know you, that hooks me, and then go ahead and give me a little bit more detail. But so often, especially with anything tech related, we get such, it ends up becoming this like garbage talk of marketing speak. And I'm like, I still have no idea what this is, or what it does, or why it's unique. And so really knowing yourself and your product and your key differentiators is so important. And for you too, at Social Bee, I think, you know, really thinking about working with interesting influencers within very specific spaces, because if I follow, you know, some incredible, you know, yeah, okay, so I worked at Miss Universe. If those girls are following some incredible makeup, you know, tutorial YouTuber or something, and they can, when they're in LA, go to all of the stores that she loves. And, you know, that's a really bad example, but that to me then is you're taking it to really specific niche audiences, but then they're going to see it, they're going to try the product out. And I think it's a sort of thing where once you use it a couple of times, you're probably going to check it out in every city that you go to.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And thanks so much for great questions, Jason, Max. We'll go ahead and wrap things up, because I know everybody has a really busy rest of the day. So we'll bring on my colleague, Eunice. Eunice, if you wouldn't mind, we'll go ahead and announce the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place winners. Wanted to mention here, we're a little bit low budget. So if all of the panelists want to go ahead and unmute themselves, we'll all clap. To get a little bit of the energy flowing across the internet. So Eunice, take it away.
Sure. So I must admit that I'm very proud of this event. It's the first time we mix entertainment, travel, and art together. So thank you everybody for great pitches, the media judges. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to participate. So we're gonna start with the 3rd place. And I must say that I'm trying this platform already. So the third place goes to Jason Labo, the CEO and founder of Social Bee. So congratulations,
Congrats, Jason.
Jason. Great. So the second place, we all agree that we were impressed with her startup and what she's accomplishing in New York. So the second place goes to Siri Chilada, the CEO of Juice.
All right,
congratulations, Siri.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Brooklyn in the
And
house.
last
Siri.
but not least, and I must say that this is the first time we get this highest score in the whole history of the Connect events. Is going for Gary Colbert, founder of Atomic Entertainment Group.
Hey,
so congratulations,
congrats,
Gary. We're
Not bad for your first pitch.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Jerry, if you want to say a couple words.
Say some words.
I'm frankly shocked. I thought there were so many other pitches that blew me away, but I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I was so impressed by everyone else, and honestly, I'm really blown away. But thanks, I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, and congratulations to everybody. It does take a lot of guts to come up here and present as well. So best of luck with your ventures. I want to say special thanks to the media judges who stuck with us today. I know you're super busy, and so taking time out of your day means a ton. Also, thank you to my colleagues, Eunice and Natalia, who put this all together on the backside. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much, and hope to see you guys at the next Connect event. Take care.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.